We discussed trade today. Our deficit with China is still too high. I stress how important it is for President Trump to rectify that situation so that trade becomes more balanced, more reciprocal, and more fair, with the opportunity to have American workers be treated fairly.
I'm continuing with my crackpot theory that he is the bad cop to the president's good cop when it comes to meeting not only with the North Koreans, and there'll be follow-up discussions with them, but with the Chinese, as in today. Mike Pompeo indicating right now that just because we're making progress on talks with North Korea means that you're off the hook on this trade stuff. The former Navy SEAL Commander Dave Sears on all of this. What do you think, Commander, of this two-pronged strategy here?
I think it's fine. There is no direct causation between the trade and the tariffs that are being implemented and North Korea. I say that because it's in China's interest as well as ours to have a stable Korean peninsula. And so they want that. They don't want to return back to the brinksmanship that it was. So will we both use this as jockeying positions? Sure. But ultimately, is it going to affect the end goal of a stable Korean peninsula? I don't think so.
So, Commander, all this talk and rumor mongering about how we might go light on the Chinese because of their presumed help with the North Korean summit and continuing that help, I guess. What do you make of that?
Sure, I think it's a negotiating tactic. It's a lot of talk. You put some things out on the table, you see what the response is, you're trying to go ahead and act, sense, and then kind of respond as to what occurs. And so I think that it is a lot of rhetoric, and you got to see what finally comes out of it.
So whose tone are you buying more of, Commander? And I might be overanalyzing to say that the president appears during the talks to be the good cop here, talking very fondly of the North Koreans and their leader. Then we hear from Secretary of State Pompeo yesterday in Seoul, South Korea. No, we're still going to have accountability and a follow-up from the North Koreans before this president's term is up. Echoing that again in China today when it comes to being forceful on these trade deals. Who's right, or are they both right?
I think they're both right. You could easily see a reversal of that, right? You could see President Trump suddenly become the bad cop without, it doesn't take a big imagination to do that. And Secretary Pompeo step in as the good cop. I think it's good to keep your negotiating stances off balance. The people that you're negotiating with, you want to keep them a little bit off balance and guessing. If they have complete certainty, then it's pretty easy to negotiate for a better deal. No, you're right about that. We're also getting word, Commander, that Vladimir Putin has already invited Kim Jong-un to come to Russia, but it will be in September. At least we learned that's the month they want to do it. On this, the same day that China is threatening to scrap any trade deals it has with the United States if we even think of imposing those tariffs on some Chinese goods. So weird. What do you make of it? Well, I think this is Kim playing. Remember, he doesn't want to be the little brother to China constantly. So he wants to get onto the world stage. And the more that he can actually sort of try to cozy up with the U.S., cozy up with Russia, get an economic relationship with South Korea better, he wants to do that. Korea and China have a very weird adversarial little brother, big brother relationship that Korea wants out of. So he's making all those moves, and it's making China a little bit nervous.
What I'm wondering is to what end? Wouldn't we get a little anxious if we see him cozying up to Vladimir Putin and saying, the president, of course, who could be very mercurial on this stuff, might just see, well, you and I had very good friendly discussions. Now I see you cozying up to Vlad, and I'm not happy.
Yeah, we should be. And we should be very cautious of that relationship because Russia actually is looking to throw more kinks into our plans. For them, it's maybe not in their interest. It's in their interest to have China, the U.S., and North Korea still a little bit adversarial. So they may not be as interested in total stability on the peninsula as we are. So we need to monitor it, and we need to talk with China, talk with North Korea, and let them know we're not happy about this.
All right, Commander, thank you, and thank you for your service to this country as well.